Welcome back, guys, to Sharpen the Sword podcast. Today, I have the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez.
Hey.
And I have one of my good friends, Ben Wynn, with us today.
What's up, guys?
And today, guys, is episode 32, the power of sacrifice, okay? How giving up something today leads to a better tomorrow. And today, we're going to go dive deep into one of the hardest things that you can do to achieve the goals and the dreams of your life, okay? The things that you want to achieve. One of the hardest things to do is sacrifice, okay? And so, sacrifice, guys, a famous quote is, if you don't sacrifice for what you want today, what you want becomes sacrifice. Okay? So if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. All right? So sacrifice for what you want. Don't let what you want becomes a sacrifice. Don't let you of becoming a multimillionaire, or you becoming a professional athlete, or the number one entrepreneur, or the best dad, whatever it is, stop at the dead end because you are not willing to sacrifice for that dream. Okay? So you choose what you want. You either sacrifice now for what you want, or you sacrifice what you want. Okay? And that is what we're going to dive deep into, because last few weeks, guys, if you guys don't know, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I run a few businesses, and I'm always talking to people, and they're always telling me their goals, and they always tell me what they want to achieve. And it always comes down to, what are you doing for those goals? Are you willing to take away X, Y, and Z? Okay? Are you willing to sacrifice for what you want? And most of the time, people answer no. Some of the time people say yes, but it's a lie, right? They're not actually willing to do it. They say they're willing to do it to make themselves feel good about their goals, and they don't do it. Okay? And so I wanted to take the time today to talk about this on episode 32, the power of sacrifice, and what sacrifice can do for you. You guys ready?
Let's do it, man. I'm excited about this.
So, guys, what do you guys think about sacrificing?
I think sacrifice is, I think it's just the natural order of life, you know? You got to sacrifice an animal if you want to eat it. Like, you're sacrificing his life, you know, for you to consume it and for you to go on. I just think it's a natural part of life. And how to sacrifice a big discomfort, which is why a lot of people don't want to sacrifice anything. And I think the biggest mistake that people make is thinking they can achieve the goal or achieve whatever they set their mind to without sacrificing. Meaning, I can reach this goal without feeling discomfort, you know? So you want to have your cake and eat it too. And I think most people fall into that trap where they feel I can achieve it without having to feel discomfort. And I think that's where most dreams die. Like you said, because you didn't sacrifice, therefore you didn't sacrifice for your dream. Your dream was a sacrifice.
Cool.
What do you think?
About sacrificing? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm still in. I'm still debating on like what would be considered sacrificing. You know, in what aspect? Like, how would you guys view? What would you guys see? What is like sacrificing? What do you guys do that consider you have to sacrifice? You know, like, for example, you brought up a great point saying, like, you know, the animal sacrifice was the animal don't have a choice, right? So you kill the animal so you can feed your family and stuff. So I feel like that's a great perspective to see what sacrifice really is.
Well, I mean, first of all, we got to talk about like what sacrifice is, right? So people need to understand what is sacrifice. And we're not talking about in slaughtering an animal, sacrificing an animal, right? Or doing crazy rituals, right? We're talking about in sacrificing things that we like, sacrificing easy things, sacrificing the convenience, okay? For hopefully a better tomorrow. Doing the hard things today to achieve good things tomorrow, right? So I want to achieve losing 5 pounds. Okay, am I willing to sacrifice cookies? You know what I mean? Brownies, fudge, right? It's holiday time. Am I willing to ignore all this stuff that's coming in, right? Now, is it easy right now? No, it's not easy. It's hard for me to sacrifice this. But if I do sacrifice this, I get to see delayed gratification and achieving the 5 pounds that I lose. I lose 5 pounds. I feel better, okay? I look better. But I have to do something hard today. It's the holiday season. I can't have sweets. I can't have all this stuff at the family dinners, Christmas parties, Christmas things, right? I'm sacrificing. And so I'm not here to talk about no fitness sacrifice, honestly. I want to get down to sacrificing for dreams and goals, because that's what I believe is a big thing for people. We talked about it on previous podcasts. I think a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety comes from lacking achieving your dreams, or lacking the potential, or lacking the drive, or lacking the belief in actually that you're capable of achieving it. And so I think when most people quit on themselves, in many ways, they feel like there's an empty hole. The desire is gone. They feel like there's no purpose of life, or there's no purpose in what they're doing. They're not happy in what they're doing. Okay, but why are you there? How did we get there? Most of the time we got there is because you weren't willing to sacrifice. Now that's just cold truth. People are not gonna hear like, oh, that's extreme. Well, yeah, guess what? It is extreme, but that's what it takes. We've talked about it before, over and over again. It is extreme, but it is what it takes, and you have to do what it takes to achieve your goals. And one of the hardest things to do is sacrifice. Okay, can you let go of enough things that are gonna propel you to achieve your goals? You know, what is it? Which one is it? Okay, and so whatever it is that you dream of is what I want to talk about. Your goals, your big aspirations is, are you willing to do what it takes to get to there? Are you willing, for example, to give up something? Okay, I'll give you a story. Growing up, I wanted to become this, and I actually talked to Ben about this yesterday. I wanted to become this professional MMA fighter. I wanted to be a professional athlete. Okay, and I was on the road to becoming a professional athlete. I was competing a lot. I was training a lot. I was very focused. I was sacrificing a lot. So any free time I had, I sacrificed for training. I sacrificed for working out. That's going to get me better. Okay? And as the time passed, things happened, life happened, right? And I had a decision to either quit training forever, pretty much, or open up an academy and still train. Okay, open up an academy to do what I love, have the capability of training, and still trying to become a professional athlete. Now, what is the reality that I figured out pretty quick? Trying to run a business, a new business that I've never opened before.
You can't have it all.
I can't have it all.
You don't have the time to.
I don't have the time to. I can't have it all. I can't focus on everything, right? And I have to choose. Do I sacrifice my dream of becoming a professional athlete, or do I sacrifice the business that I just opened up? Which one is it? And as you can imagine, I was in a pretty tight spot, and a very dark spot too, right? Very, very hard time, because I was battling with the promise that I made myself of becoming a world champion, you know? And most of the world champion aspiration was MMA back then. It wasn't even jiu-jitsu. I loved fighting, and I was on the road, and I was doing good, and I was winning. And then life hits you with a curveball. And so I had a choice. Do I sacrifice my dream of becoming a professional athlete to run a successful business and help people and still do what I love, but not to the same level, right? Do what I love, help people. Or do I sacrifice helping people and opening a business and having a place to train and doing what I want forever for becoming an athlete for a few years? Mm-hmm. And obviously, what time tells, you know which one I picked. I picked to become the business route, you know? And so that for me, like, now I can talk about it easily. Back then I couldn't talk about it because I don't want to believe it. And Ben and I talked about it yesterday, coincidentally. I didn't want to believe it. Up until probably a year ago, I didn't want to believe it. Still, like, I have an opportunity. And part of me in my mind, because I think, you know, working your mindset, you still don't want to believe. I still have an opportunity to become a professional athlete. And I'm not saying just professional athlete. I can go sign a paper, become a professional athlete, a world champion in MMA. I'm about to be 30 next year. Is it going to be easy to do? You know? And Ben asked me, I asked him, I said, you think I can do it? He said, yeah, I think you can do it, but you're going to have to give up the business, right? And so it goes back again. I can choose right now to go back to my original dream of an athlete, right? I can go back to my original dream of an athlete, but I'm gonna have to sacrifice everything I do right now. The business, I would say, hey, Gio, you got it, big dog. I'm sacrificing my energy, time and energy of working in the business. I'm sacrificing me as a coach. I won't be coaching no more and helping people to have my dream, to have a shot at my dream again. I would sacrifice hanging out with people. I would sacrifice doing fun stuff that's not going to benefit my dream. I would sacrifice all of that to go back to that. So which one do you choose? So a lot of people have to put this on pen and paper. What do I have to sacrifice to achieve what I want? You know? Are you willing to do it? Mm-hmm. Most people say they're willing to do it. But are they really willing to do it?
I don't think they grasp the how much work it takes. And when some, because words are like easy to talk, right? What's the saying? Like, talk is cheap. And I feel like a lot of people will be like, yeah, it's easy. I'll sacrifice this. But they don't really know. Like, time is the biggest enemy for us. Time will tell if you're really all about it or not, if you're willing to sacrifice. Because you can sacrifice a part of your comfort time for a couple weeks, maybe a month, right? And then when you're actually depleted, right? And like, oh shit, like life hit, like you hit a wall. I'm like, dang, do I really want to go through this? You start realizing, like, am I capable of doing this, or like, am I really all about this? Because I remember, one of my dream is like to bring a world title to the gym, right? I told you when I started training, and I remember, I always, every time we have a hard training session, I will always remember and bring myself back to this moment, because this was the moment where I was like, oh shit. Am I really all about this? Am I like truly want to be a world champion? So like it was a Friday night class, comp class, right? And then we were doing sprints. We're already burnt out from like the drills that we were doing, and then sprints at the end. And I was like, I think we were like second and third lap. I don't know. It was like 5-6 laps in, and I was like, damn, I hit a wall. Like my whole body, my whole mind, like stopped for like a brief second. I was like, oh shit, do I want this? Like, am I really willingly to sacrifice my body, right? Because if you want to become a professional athlete, you're not only sacrificing like your time with your family, time going out, enjoying, like for me, I like to play games. Time to enjoy, decompress, right? But you also sacrifice the pain that you put your body through as an athlete, right? Mm-hmm. So it just takes a lot of work, and a lot of people who hasn't experienced that would be like eager to say, I am able to sacrifice it. All right, a lot of people who has experience will be like, man, you have no idea what you're about to face. So get ready, you know? And a lot of people get cold feet. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? Sometimes you figure out, damn, maybe this isn't for me. But that's where passions come in place. If you're really passionate about something, you're willing to sacrifice it.
100%. I agree. I remember that night we were doing the sprints. We were getting punished. I remember one time I was at a tournament, right? I remember the week before, like, leading up to that tournament, I had to watch David Goggins, right? Like, be like, Navy SEAL, and you're dead, and you still keep going. I had finished the match, and I laid down. And so a 5-minute match. Then next match was 5 minutes. Another guy went up. Then it was me again. I remember I was laying down, and they called my name up. I was laying down like, fudge. Like, do I really want to be here? And I was like, shit, man, I'm already here. I won the match, but Jesus Christ, that was a big sacrifice. And you're right, the sacrifice is just temporary discomfort, you know, feeling comfortable in your body. You know, sometimes it does hurt doing martial arts. You feel very uncomfortable. You're like, man, I could just give this up and just feel comfortable. Yeah. But then you're going to feel depressed by yourself because you don't do nothing worthwhile.
Yeah.
You don't do nothing fulfilling, nothing fulfillment. I think that's the biggest thing when you don't live a life of sacrifice or a life of purpose is you don't have fulfillment. And if you don't have fulfillment, I think if you don't have fulfillment, you don't enjoy your life.
100%. And I want to go back to what it really takes, like you said. Like, it sounds so sweet. Like, people are saying, I am willing to sacrifice this for my family. I am willing to sacrifice this for my dream, for my goals, for me to live the way I want to live, right? But the truth is, over 90% of the population is not willing to sacrifice for long period of time, because people think sacrifice is, well, coach, I sacrificed for November.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you achieve out of that? You lost 2 pounds. Good job. But you want to lose 20 pounds. You think sacrificing for just November is going to get you there? No. You need to sacrifice for 6 months, a year, 2 years. And then you will get there. Okay? So giving up, repeat that quote you just said, Gio. It was powerful how you said, sacrifice is temporary discomfort, right? What is the second part of it?
Man, I forgot. Let me see.
Sacrifice is temporary discomfort, doing the hard things now to achieve what you want later on, to enjoy the rest of the ride. Okay? And I always tell Gio this, right?
You got it right.
It's a matter of time. This is the problem. I've been saying this a lot this week. It's a matter of time. People can do something for 30 days. Some people can do it for 60 days. Some people can do it for 90 days. Some people can do it for 6 months, a year, 2 years. But it's a matter of time that most people fall off the ride. They come off the horse. It's a matter of time. And to achieve sacrifice, to achieve your goals, you're going to have to sacrifice at the highest level. Okay? You're going to have to sacrifice family time. You're going to have to sacrifice friend time. You're going to have to sacrifice socializing and partying and doing all that stuff. You're going to have to sacrifice the way you eat. You're going to have to sacrifice the way you work. Okay? Some people are like, well, I worked hard and I'm not making money and I want this. Or I couldn't go to Florida this week. Or I couldn't take my kids to Disney for Christmas or whatever it is. How much did you work? 40 hours. Are you willing to sacrifice? What does it take? Are you willing to work another 20, 30 hours for 20, 30 hours each week for 3 more weeks extra for the month? Are you willing to add 80 hours of work extra for the month? No, then shut up. You don't want it bad enough. It's just that simple. Okay? When you have the passion, when you have the drive, when you know the purpose of what you want, and you not just know it, you truly believe that's your calling, right? That's what it's meant to be. And you 100% believe in it, you're willing to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. You're willing to do it. Now, I don't care how tough you are. And guys, sharpen your sword, right? We talk about it every episode. The idea of sharpening your body and mind to be prepared for tomorrow's battle. And I will admit to you guys, doesn't matter how sharp your sword is, it can be the sharpest sword out there, you're still going to have a hard time with sacrificing. That's why it is one of the hardest things to do to achieve your goals. But it's absolutely worth it. It doesn't matter how sharp you are, you're going to have a hard time with it because sacrifice is not easy. Because you're thinking, well, I can be with my wife, I can be with my kids, I can be having fun with my friends, I can be at the bar, I can be at the club, I can be here, I can be there, I can do whatever it is. Why am I killing myself? Okay? If you're an athlete, my body hurts. Why am I doing this to my body? Why am I going through this? What's the purpose of this? Because the glory. That's why. Are you driven by the glory enough, by the fire to keep going? That's what it comes down to. Okay? So if you want to have the #1 cafe, if you want to have the #1 academy, are you willing to do what it takes? We talk about academy owners all the time. We look at academy owners, black belt world champions, this and that, and we look at the way they work. And this morning I was telling you about this. Mm-hmm. Like some people are not willing to reach out to their client, do a little bit of extra work to reach out to a client, to just check up on them. That seems like a small task. You're still sacrificing time of your day. You're still sacrificing being lazy to make a little action that's going to pay you back eventually. You know what I mean? So you have to sacrifice to achieve what you want.
And some people think if they just sacrifice their time or whatever it is at that period, it's gonna make them achieve their goal right away. It's like I said, time. You know, you have to sacrifice this portion for an experience, part of time, right? So let's say you brought it up saying like it doesn't take like 1 month of November. You have to take like years to achieve your goal. And for granted, whatever your goal may be, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to sacrifice 8 years of your life to achieve something like small that you could only sacrifice for 1 year, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's all, I feel like sacrificing will be determined by like what goals you want to achieve for yourself. I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
What is it?
Like how long should like a person should sacrifice their personal enjoyment over, is it due to their goals, or is it just in general how you just have to sacrifice?
So I mean, the size of the sacrifice depends on the goal, right? You want to become a world champion, correct?
Yeah.
So do you think that you're gonna not sacrifice your body?
No, I know I am.
It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you're only gonna do it for 30 days?
No.
You think you're gonna do it for 6 months to become a world champion? Now magic happens? No. Some people can do it. Don't get me wrong, right? But it depends on the magnitude of the goal, the magnitude of the dream, will decide how much you have to sacrifice. Okay, let me lose 5 pounds in 30 days. Okay, that's in 30 days. But my overall goal is to lose 100 pounds. Do you think the 100-pound goal is gonna happen in 30 days?
No.
It's a bigger goal. I'm gonna need more time. I wanna be on a Forbes list. Forbes 100, right? I wanna be on a Forbes 100. I just opened up my first business. Now, it can happen, don't get me wrong. But you think it's gonna happen in 1 year? No, that's a big goal. That's a big, that's a big thing to hit. That's a big dream. So the amount of sacrifice is going to depend on the size of the goal. Each goal is going to be different. Each person is going to be different. And the more willing you are to sacrifice, the closer you will get to that goal a little bit quicker. But you have to be willing to sacrifice more. Are you willing to sacrifice money to become a world champion, not making enough money? Are you willing to sacrifice your body? Are you willing to sacrifice hanging out with your friends? Are you willing to stop drinking? Are you willing to stop eating bad foods? You know what I mean? Are you willing to make this big list of sacrifices that you have to do over a long period of time to become an adult level IBJJF world champion?
I agree. I think that the biggest thing is this. So like your goal, right? It has value. And your temporary comfort also has value. Whatever, right? It might be. I think that if truly in your heart your goal doesn't have high value, then you value more, for example, sleeping in a bed. You value more doing drugs than being sober. You value more, for example, for like a dad, let's say. We're talking to a dad this morning. So you value more being on the couch watching the football game or watching goofiness than spending time with your kids. Even though you might say you love your kids, right? But your actions reflect that you value more this temporary pleasure than that goal. Even though most times people will tell themselves that they value more this goal is valuable to them, but in reality, their brain, this temporary comfort is more valuable because you're not willing to trade it for your goal.
So how can you make your goal that valuable that will triumph your what's that word? What's that phrase you use?
The temporary comfort?
Yeah, temporary comfort.
I think that you got to know yourself and know what you really want. I think you just really got to do that. She's like soul searching. Just really know who you really are and what you really want. And if you really want it, you just think it's a cute idea.
Well, what if, let's say, what if that goal is, everyone can see that goal will benefit me in a good way, right? Then the temporary pleasure how can you like convince somebody like, hey, dude, or person, this is benefits you. Like, you need to start sacrificing your time for this rather than like sitting on a couch playing games all day, you know.
I think it might go back to what Mo said. Like, I think people, they know it's valuable, but I don't think they believe it can happen. Therefore, they won't sacrifice.
Well, most people, the sad thing is, like, I hear it all the time, and sometimes I don't say nothing, right? I hear it all the time, but it's like most people already have counted themselves out. And so what you're talking about is, I know that it's beneficial for you to lose 10 pounds, but you can't see that. I have to convince you, hey, you need to do this because it's going to help you.
Yeah.
But hey, here's the thing. The truth is, sometimes it doesn't matter what I say. If you can't do it for yourself, it ain't happening. Well, people say, well, that is cold. Like, how are you not going to help somebody? No, I try to help somebody. They're not willing to help themselves. They're not willing to see it. But the truth is, this is a process of rewiring the brain, rewiring the mind. If I'm in a mentor position or I'm in a coaching position and you're my student, I'm going to rewire your brain. I'm going to try to rewire your mindset to see that. And once you see it, you'll start working toward it. Now, if you don't have somebody around you, you have to dissect yourself. You have to dissect your actions, the way you think, the way you see things, the way you look at things. And dissect your actions and rewire your brain to see, hey, this is actually beneficial for me. Losing 10 pounds is beneficial for me because I'm going to feel healthier. I'm going to feel stronger. I'm going to be more active with my kids. I'm going to be more active at work. I'm going to become more aware. I'm going to become a better performer by losing these 10 pounds. Okay, then I need to get after that goal. I need to sacrifice the cookies in the morning, or I need to sacrifice my sugary coffee in the morning. You know what I mean? Or I need to sacrifice the cheeseburgers or the lunch at Sonic or the ice cream because I've got myself to understand this goal is going to be worth it for me. It's going to be benefiting for me. Okay? But at the end of the day, when you talk about goals, right? And it's not even just goals, it's dreams, right? People just things that everybody aspires to have something. It's my dream to have a ranch. It's my dream to drive a Ferrari. It's my dream to have a big house. It's my dream to, what are some things that people you say?
Like have a yacht, have a mansion.
Have a mansion. Or it's my dream to go to Disney World.
That's so materialistic things, guys.
Yeah, we're in a materialistic world. I'm just giving you examples. Right? Most of the goals that you see, dreams, are what? Materialistic these days.
Yeah.
Most of what you see are materialistic. So that's why I'm giving these examples. Okay? So if you want it so bad, why are you not willing to sacrifice for it? Okay? And that's what I'm talking about in sacrifice. Are you willing to give away your time and energy? Put more time into things. Because time given, what is the quote? Time given is, there's a quote, I don't even know. But once you give your time, you can't get time back. Are you willing to give your energy? Some things, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of things I don't give my energy to. Or people I don't give my energy to. I hold that for myself. Right? But if you are in a relationship, are you willing to give your energy? Sacrifice your energy for somebody. Because you have to transfer that to somebody. Right? Are you going to give away your social life? People like to go out, hang out Fridays and this and that. You know what helped me become successful? One of the biggest things that helped me become successful, Gio, is...
What?
Gio got caught slipping.
Now look at the time-given quote.
One of the biggest things, I didn't have a crazy social life, but I gave away hanging out with people. Just killing time. Is a word I don't want to use, but I quit whistle dicking, right? Like you quit wasting your time, pretty much. Quit.
I never heard of that.
Quit horsing around, okay? So quit horsing around. Like, why am I gonna just hang out with you just to hang out with you? Just socialize. Kill 3-4 hours of the day, 3-4 hours of the weekend. Mm-hmm. Every Friday, go and hang out with somebody. Every Saturday, go and hang out with somebody. So once I stopped doing that, once I sacrificed that, my circle got smaller, obviously, because they don't like you no more, right? But I had to sacrifice that because guess what I had to do the next morning?
Wake up and go to work.
I had to get up early and go to work. So I could have stayed, hang out, and sacrifice 3-4 hours of work, go up a little bit later, because I work for myself. I go in a few hours later, but what am I sacrificing then? Potential money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so my goal became what? To become entrepreneur, high-level entrepreneur. So I sacrificed my social life. I sacrificed the social life of having people around me that didn't benefit me. At the moment, I didn't see it was good for me to the level that I see today. That's one of the best things I've done, is to cut that people off. To not entertain people in the fact of killing time. I'm not talking about good friends and family. Put that aside. Random people. Right? And this on the same topic is young men, right? Young men with girls. Somebody yesterday was telling me, yeah, I just met a girl and we're supposed to go out. I'm like, cool, man, good. Enjoy it, have fun, you know what I'm saying? But don't let it get in the way of your school. He's a young guy. And I know some things about him, and I told him, I said, don't let it get in the way of your school. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people get in a relationship and their dreams and their goals go on a back burner because they have somebody with them that's not willing to support them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they're giving up their dreams and goals. And I'm not saying for a bad girl. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're giving up their dreams and goals for somebody that's not even on the same page as them. So you're in a lose-lose situation. So a lot of people don't even understand this. And this is what we see a lot with younger guys, is sacrificing their time to make more money because they want to hang out. They want to chill. Sacrificing going out on dates all the time, expensive dates, rather than saving the money to build a dream. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Sacrificing their dream to just hang out and kill time and enjoy the moment. You know, I sent you a quote the other day. What did it say? I sent it to you guys. It was a reel. What did it say?
I think
it was powerful. Okay, but you choose the level of sacrifice that you want.
So are you willing to sacrifice people as well?
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Was the one your lack of focus will kill you before your competitors ever get a chance?
That's one thing, but there's something else. Let me see if I can find it.
I mean, what type of, if you say you can even sacrifice people, I mean,
sacrifice people.
Not in the sense of like, you know, but like hanging out with them, sacrificing time to hang out with the people that you value, you know, or some people aren't even willing to do that.
You know what? I think it comes down to what you value in life.
True, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what if I value my family? Like, we all value our family here, right? However, we're not going to be able to spend time with them if we're aiming to achieve a goal of ours. It's like, for example, I don't have any, I'm just now starting to do that. So I don't really have a story to tell, but I'm going to use my brother, my oldest brother, for example. My nephew, which is around 9 right now, maybe 10, terrible uncle, but he's around 9 or 10, right? My brother sacrificed his, like 8 years of his life to work, to achieve a certain wealth, to be able to take care of his family, to be where he at right now. So he sacrificed, and he told me that he kind of regretted it, because not only that he sacrificed his time of being to be with his son during his earlier years, he also sacrificed his time with us, being with me and the other brothers and the family.
Yeah.
So he sacrificed all that just so he could build an empire that he dreamt to be, you know. And so he said that when we were talking about it one night, he was like, think about it. You know, sometimes it's just, I look back and I think to myself, maybe it's not worth giving up the time that I could have spent with my family, or maybe I could have done it better where I can still be able to achieve my goal while be able to hang out with you guys more. but he cut like all connection, and like work. Every family events we have, he worked open that day. You know, holidays open that day. You know, and he been doing that for years. You know, so
It's tough because if you think about it, it's like
are you willing to sacrifice your family and friends as well?
It's tough because in the situation, right? Like everything played out. Like his family was still intact, so now he got a success, but he can still interact with them, right?
But you
Now,
just gave up like
he missed his child's childhood. You'll never get that back, right? Now, granted, he can give him, like, set him up for college, set him up for life, but you never get to experience childhood. I think that's another one that's really tough. I think, like, when it comes down to, like, your personal relationships, because, like, what if I give up all my time, right? And then I have a son, hypothetically, this is not real. I'm working super hard, I have a son, and then my son passed away. Now I'm gonna feel like shit, right? I did all this sacrifice, and then my son ain't even there. You know, it's tough, and that's why I say, like, you gotta really, like, know what you value and what you want in life, and, like, truly believe it. Because if I didn't, like, I know there's one kid, we were friends as childhoods, right? Like, he passed away, right? And I was thinking, like, damn, bro, like, start feeling bad. I'm thinking, like, man, he didn't get to grow old, he didn't get to have kids. And then I was like, man, I hope he enjoyed his life. Right now I was thinking, like, what if all he did was work and he didn't get to experience that much? So it's tough, but at the end of the day, you can't live in fear, you know? You can't live in the fear of what if this happens.
yeah.
That is true, but I also believe part of a man's duty is to work. So men, honestly, real men, in my opinion, a lot of their fulfillment coming from working hard. You know what I mean? I think it's in our DNA. You work hard, you feel good about yourself. So a lot of these men don't feel good because they don't work hard. Who's ever worked out and felt bad after working out?
Yeah, unless you got injured.
You know what I mean? Unless you get injured, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the family part is hard. Don't get me wrong. Now, it's easier for us to say because we don't have kids.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. So it's easier for me to say it now. But I do understand one thing that I told myself is I would do what it takes and I would do whatever it takes for how long it takes to make sure my family is set up. Now, if that's going to be me sacrificing some family time, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That's part of you being a man, being responsible. You don't have the right deck of cards. You're not drawing the right hand of cards, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, and now this is hopefully some people can live different means, but I'm saying the family's lacking things. You need to achieve, you need to work, you need to do something. You're going to say, no, I don't want to work extra because I want to spend more family time and we're all going to struggle. Or, no, I'm going to struggle and sacrifice my family time, hope for a better future tomorrow.
Yeah. Now this is crazy. You know, there's a quote, right, that says, I don't necessarily know what to think about it because I'm not a father. They say that great men are bad fathers because, like, they're so focused on, like, their own thing, right? Which is it's like a little kind of selfish, you know? Like, they're doing their own thing, so they don't get to spend time with the kids. But at what point do you think it's too extreme or it's too much sacrifice?
So here's the thing, man. I heard that quote and I don't want to believe it. I've heard that quote. Yeah, great men are bad fathers. Because here's the thing. Goes back to sacrifice. And again, I used to be very selfish on my dream to become an athlete. I knew as an athlete, you have to be selfish. That's what people don't understand. You have to be selfish. There is a very rare way you can achieve things without being selfish. True or false?
True.
You
Is
know?
that why you keep calling me selfish?
Yes. You know? So being an athlete, you have to be selfish. And I was very selfish. I didn't care about helping people with their jiu-jitsu. I didn't care about helping people become better. I didn't care about helping them have a strong mindset or help them achieve their goals. I didn't give them tips like, hey, lose 5 pounds. I didn't give them tips on, hey, go running or drink more water or eat healthier. I didn't care. You tell me something, thumbs up, good job. I go back to work. I do what I got to do for my dream. Okay? Now, when you want to achieve greatness, okay, and greatness can be, let's just throw out some topics. Greatness can be have 8-9 figures in the bank. Okay, who does not like money? Everybody likes money. Greatness can be having a giant house. Greatness can be I homeschool my kids. I can send them or bring teachers in. I can have them do experiences that nobody's ever done as a homeschool. because I have the wealth. My greatness can be sending my kids to private school. My greatness can be sending my kids to college, paid tuition. Greatness can be my wife doesn't have to work, right? It can be having 10, 20, 30,000 acres in the West. It can be going to 3 vacations out of the country a year. Mm-hmm. That's all big things, correct? It can be having a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
It's all big things. Do you think that's not going to happen without being selfish? Do you think it's possible to happen without being selfish?
Not unless you get budget and like hit the lottery, get lucky.
Put the lottery to the side. I'm saying just put your head down and work.
Nah.
Okay? So hopefully you make the right moves. I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm not married. I don't have kids, correct? I don't have a family. So I decided to take up the last half of my life. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I've worked half of my life already. I'm not even 30. I've already worked half of my life. It sounds crazy. It's not like I'm 60 saying I worked it, right? Because if I'm 60, I just started working at 30. No, I started in my teens. So I've given up half of my life to achieve what I want. Thank God. And I'm still working. Now, I sacrificed so many people. I've sacrificed so much family time. I sacrificed so many family events. Sacrificed weddings. Sacrificed baby showers and all these things and all this stuff doing with family. And holidays and dinners and all this. Is there some regret? Am I going to sit here and lie to you? Yeah, there's some regret. I look back and I don't remember seeing some people grow up. So imagine with your own kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know, are you willing? But here's the thing. If you are attached to the dream enough, you're going to be willing to do it. Now, when we talk about is it right or wrong, that's a different topic. That's a different topic. We're not talking about whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not talking about that. But that's going to come with the territory. If you have a multi-billion-dollar company and it requires you to be in the company a lot to remain multi-billion, you think you're going to see your kids on Christmas? You know how many people miss Christmas with their family? Or how many baseball games they miss? Or how many activities they missed? But they achieved, for the better, hopefully, a big goal for their family. You gotta weigh the risk, the pros and the cons. The risk versus reward.
Yeah.
And the quote is this: there's no right way to live your 20s. You can either overlive them, which means party and all that, and be an underskilled 30-year-old, okay? Or you can underlive them. You can overwork. You can become an overworked 20-year-old and an underlived 30-year-old. Mm-hmm. So you can work your 20s, take all your 20s, which is exactly what I did, and be an underlived 30-year-old. So I didn't get to enjoy life, was what some people like to say. Like, coach, enjoy life. You're so uptight. Right? Right? But I decided to give up my teens and my 20s for that. I didn't enjoy the last 10, 15 years. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Right? So I'm an underlived 30-year-old. Correct? Or I can enjoy my 20s. For you young guys listening, you can enjoy your 20s and be an underskilled 30-year-old. And guess what happens then? You're going to work like a donkey. Guess what? You're still not going to be happy. The time that you partied, the times that you did all this crazy stuff and you were doing whatever it is, you have nothing to show for it. Besides talking to your homies and saying, man, you remember at the club when I was with these girls? Man, remember when we used to clubbing? Remember when we used to be partying? Right or wrong? That's all they got to say. There's nothing else for most people to say. There's nothing to show for it. So which one do you want? You pick. Which one do you want? And that's my point of this episode, is to get to that topic right there.
Well, this is the thing. I think that many people fall for the thing like, I'll enjoy my 20s and I'm going to still make it happy.
How many people are still trying to make it happen? If you're underskilled, you have no skills by the time you hit 30, who's going to hire you other than McDonald's to flip a patty?
I don't know.
Or a warehouse labor job or construction labor. And you're working labor. And here's the thing, guys. I grew up learning this. I said, even if you're a garbage man, that's your job and the way to make a living, there's no shame in that. I'm not saying there's shame in being labor, but I'm saying you're gonna work as a labor man. You're gonna get paid hourly. Now, if you become the GC, the contractor, that's a different topic. But do you think you're gonna just become the GC overnight after you've just partied the last 10, 12, 15 years?
No.
And you don't have no skills to show for it?
You got no skill.
You have no skills. So I like the optimism of some of you guys saying, hey, when I get 30, it's going to be on. So everybody, the society's telling people right now, enjoy your life, enjoy your life, enjoy your life. You ain't not finna pay their bills. You tell them to enjoy their life into the ground is what you're telling them. Because when they get to 30, they realize, I'm not married yet. This is statistics, by the way. They get to their 30s, not married, they get to depression. Why? Because human nature, you're supposed to be in a relationship, or marriage. You're supposed to have kids, specifically women.
Yeah.
So when they don't have kids, when they're in 30s, they hit a bad spot. Okay? And so you get to the 30s, now you're scrambling to get in a relationship. Now you have somebody to take care of, and you have no job to pay. You have no skills, and you're demanding $40, $50 an hour, and you have nothing to show for it. Your resume is you being at the club. Your resume is being at the bar, hanging out, partying.
Great storytelling too.
Great storytelling.
But that's true. But one thing I do want to talk about is the difference between sacrifice and compromise. Like, I'll give a personal example. Like, I compromise with social media apps. So I didn't fully sacrifice them, right? I didn't delete Facebook. I didn't delete Instagram. I didn't delete all these apps, right? But I made a compromise, and I put a 15-minute time limit. So after 15 minutes, I can't use the app, right? It just kicks me out. What do you think is the biggest difference? And can you compromise on your goals and still achieve them? You know what I'm saying? Like, achieve to the magnitude, or will compromise / the magnitude of your goals?
So this is me. When you start compromising, you're giving lead rope, right? You're giving slack. So if you give slack, you're not going to achieve the same level. You know, you may still be able to achieve something, but when you start compromising, and don't get me wrong, compromise is not necessarily bad. But when you start compromising in your actions, you compromise your goal. Guaranteed. If he compromises right now and says, hey, I want to compromise on my training because it's killing me and I'm going to take out a couple of days, you think he's still going to achieve the same?
Maybe it would take longer.
It may take longer, you know? But I think when you start compromising, it's a downward spiral because you've given in. Now, it's extreme mindset. It's a hard mindset to settle in.
Well, I mean, in that sense, maybe compromising may not be too bad because let's say I am injured, so I can't train at a intense. So maybe I could compromise by still going into training while injured, like watching class instead of rolling, you know, like you said.
Yeah, but when you have a certain thing like that, then you have no choice, right? But if I have the choice to work 100-hour weeks, right? If I work X amount of 100-hour weeks, I have X amount of dollars. But I compromise on a 100-hour week. Do you think I'm gonna have the same amount of dollars?
No. You just even if you were like being on an hourly base.
You know what I mean? You won't. So compromise is the middle ground where you try to make yourself feel better, the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, or you can use compromise to cut off the excess of time that you're giving up. A lot of people, so like, let's say how much do we need to sacrifice? Let's set one goal. What is one goal that is...
Well, I said it. How much you sacrifice depends on the size of the goal. So if you want to make if you want to make $1 million, you want to have $1 million in the bank, you're gonna have to do a lot of sacrifice. But if you want $50 million in the bank, simple math, you have to do 50 times more than sacrifice.
I think that's how math works, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's just an example, a small example. I am talking about the big goals. I'm talking about the dreams that people think that they can't achieve. I'm not here to sit on my podcast and talk about, hey guys, go lose 5 pounds. No, what I'm gonna tell you is, if you're overweight, go lose 30, 40 pounds. Go lose 50 pounds. Start working out. Live a better lifestyle. Train jiu-jitsu. I'm not gonna go tell you do 5 pounds. 5 pounds is on the lower side of the totem pole. There's nothing wrong with that. If you tell me, hey, I want to own a business, well, you should be the number one guy in your field. You should be the number one businessman in your field. I told you that the other day, right?
Yeah.
Everybody should know who you are. Everybody.
In your business, right?
In your business.
In your
Everybody
brand.
should know. What is it?
In your bread.
In my brand. You know? So if you say Border Martial Arts Academy, people know Border Martial Arts Academy. They know Coach Mo. Okay? Whatever it is that you want. Ben Win. People should know you on the local circuit of Ben Win, blue belt in jiu-jitsu right now.
Yes, sir. Of course they do.
You know what I mean? They don't know you enough.
Being who?
I got.
They don't know you enough. Okay? So
They about to find out January 4th.
So I'm talking about being the top guy. I'm not talking about being mediocre. You know what I mean? I'm talking about being the top guy. The number one guy. That's what I'm talking about in terms of sacrifice. At that level. Okay? You want to be the number one dad. You want to be the number one wife. You want to be the number one husband. You want to be the number one entrepreneur. You want to be whoever it is. If I work in a car dealership as a sales rep, guess what I'm going to do? And I've told you guys this before. I almost want to do a test to go do it. I'm going to be the number one sales rep. I'm going to outsell every single person at that car dealership. Guess what? They are going to take a day off. I guarantee it, they're going to take a day off. I don't care how tough they are, how good they are. In 30 days, if there's a tough guy, he may not take no day off in 30 days. He may not take a day off in 60 days or 90 days or 120 days or 5 or 6 months. But guess what? He's going to eventually take a day off. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be waiting outside that damn car dealership looking to sell a car. Because I want my name on the top of the board. I want my commission numbers on top of everybody. I want the award for number one sales rep of December again. And I want it for January. I want it for February. I want it for every day of the month. That's what I'm talking about, sacrificing for something like that. Are you willing to work 7 days a week for the 365 days a year to be the number one jiu-jitsu guy?
Let me think.
But that's what I'm trying to get to, right? Like this is my favorite topic.
Well, here's the thing, though. That's why sacrifice. I feel like it works in a mysterious way because maybe different goals entice different sacrifices. Because you can work as a sales rep. You can work 7 days a week and be fine, right? Maybe your mental will take a toll, but whereas when you're a professional athlete, working out, training 7 days a week, is that really beneficial?
No, when you talk about athlete, no. But you get what I'm asking. That's like a hypothetical question is what I asked you. What I'm asking you is, are you willing to do it?
I'm nervous for a second.
Let's just say you are the car salesman.
Okay.
It's us three. Okay? Be real. Within the next 120 days, how many days next 3 months, how many days are you going to take off?
Yeah, I'm expecting the weekends off.
Okay, you want the weekends off, right?
Yeah.
You know? You want the weekends off. What about you, Gio?
I want Tuesdays off.
You want Tuesdays off. And Sunday, right?
Oh, no, I just want Sunday off. I was thinking just one day.
You want your Sundays off, right?
Sunday for the Lord, yeah.
So you want 24 days off. Correct? Am I doing the right math?
Yeah.
And you want 12 days off. Guess what? If we work in a dealership, I will make sure I don't take those days off to beat you guys. Mm-hmm. Just to make sure I beat you guys. Why? Because I want to be the number one guy at the dealership. I want the owner to fly in and be like, this is my number one guy. He's going to give the sales training today. He's going to be the one that's going to get an increase in commission. He's the one that's I'm going to fly out to other dealerships to show them he's the number one guy. Okay? Most of that is for pats on the back. I don't care about the pat on the back. I just want to be the number one guy. But at the same time, if I'm the number one guy, what does that mean?
You're the biggest fish in the pond.
I'm the biggest fish in the pond, but what does that mean monetarily?
We got the most money.
I'm making the most money. So guess what I can do with that most money?
Oh.
I can do whatever I want. You want to go to Disney? Let's go to Disney. I want to give to help people. I can give to help people. I can do whatever it is that I want. Now, is that sustainable over a long period of time? This is the other part. Is that sustainable over a long period of time when I have a family? No, but guess what? Instead of having 12 days off in 3 months, I may have 4 or 5. But guess what? I'm going to make sure I outwork you guys. And if I still take the days off, this is the other part of it. If I still take the days off, I'm going to make sure I do more work during the day to beat you guys.
What's gonna happen when you sacrifice and someone still beats you? You know, like talent will beat you. Will be hard work.
So talent, not necessarily. People say the quote is hard work beats talent, right? Or
When talent doesn't work hard.
when talent doesn't work hard. Okay? So it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you're taking 24 days out, simple math, I'm really going to probably outsell you. Because I'm working 24 more days than you. What is the famous Elon Musk quote?
The
80 hours a week. He did the math. Can you look it up? But my point is, now that's why I said if I decide to take the same days off that you do, I'm going to hopefully have the talent to still beat you, right? And if I don't, I'm going to give myself the skills. And on top of that, I'm going to work harder than you on that 10-hour shift. Because you're going to take a 1-hour lunch. I know you are. And if you don't take a 1-hour lunch, you're going to take a 30-minute lunch. Guess what? I'm going to eat my sandwich real quick, or I'm going to skip my lunch, and I'm still going to be the next customer that comes in, I'm jumping on them.
Yeah.
I'm willing to sacrifice my lunchtime. So how bad do you want it? To what level do you want it? That's what we're talking about here. You know what I mean? This stuff gets me excited. I'm not lying.
100%. I mean, even if, like, say, someone else tells you because they just got bigger tickets, you still got further than what you would have got without that effort, you know?
Yep.
You still would have went farther.
Yep. You know? And that's not going to happen all the time. You can still be beat. Don't get me wrong. Right? But simple math says if I work harder than you, if I'm more determined, right? I'm not just spinning my wheels for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you. And when you take days off, or when you take off the gas, or when you're not willing to sacrifice your kid's baseball game, guess what? You're going to be at your kid's baseball game. I'm not. Right? I'm just talking. I'm not saying it's going to be guaranteed.
Yeah.
But like if I skip just 4 baseball games a month, you're going to be at all 4 baseball games of your kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that, right? This is good. You're being a good dad. I'm going to skip one of them. 'Cause I need to make that money. I need to achieve that goal. I'm sacrificing a little time with my kid, but I'm going to achieve that goal. So what are you willing to sacrifice? You know?
What if your goal is to be the best dad? No, let's go there. Budget. Now, we're not dads now. What if your goal is to be the best dad? What do you sacrifice? Hey, no. You got one on the way? You announcing it right now?
I have a little fur ball.
Oh, you got a cat.
I got a dog, bro. What you talking about?
Boy got a kitty.
That he almost squished one night. But let's say your goal is to be the best dad. Should your goal be spend the most money? I mean, make the most money for your family, or spend the most time with your family?
And make memories and give them lessons that they can use in life.
They'll be like, I remember when my daddy played catch with me in the front yard. Or they're gonna be like, I remember when dad was gone to work.
Dang.
But at least I got this Mercedes though. No, but like no jokes. Like, what do you think? Like, your goal is to be the best dad.
So this is what I think. And this is hard, right? Because like my life, your life, and Ben's life are different, right? So I didn't have I'm not gonna say it's a head start, but I had a head start. I started working earlier. Okay? Now I had to give up a lot of things, right? So when Ben says I'm uptight, you know why I'm uptight.
You say, oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm messing with Ben because yesterday he was saying I'm uptight, guys. So let me know if I'm uptight or not. But I had a head start. So now I have opportunity after freaking working And this, I kid you not, like I'm not BSing you. I think it was 10 or 11 years I didn't take a single day off. And I was young. Mm-hmm. I was a teenager. I was a kid, put it that way. I was a kid. Not one day off. 7 days a week, every effing day. From the morning to the night. Monday through Sunday. Christmas or Thanksgiving, didn't matter. You know what I mean? So now I have that head start. So now guess what? I get to spend more time. I have the opportunity to do that, thank God. Now for the person that overlived their 20s, are you going to have the same capability? Now, if you don't have the same capability, you're going to give away the financial side. But here's the thing. Some of the poorest people live the best lives. But in this country right now, it's going to be hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because everything's materialistic. Because guess what your kid wants? Your kid plays baseball, he wants the next best baseball glove. He needs some cleats. He needs to go to the games. He needs a helmet.
I feel like you're going to be enabling that, though. Because you don't have to necessarily give that to the kid.
You don't have to, but I'm saying, if things don't go exactly right and you don't raise them correctly or whatever happens, right? And that kid is going to be materialistic or your family is going to be materialistic, then you're going to fight another battle of why don't we have this? Or why can't we buy this? Or why can't I go to Florida like my buddy? Or why can't I go to Disney?
I'm going to be honest, we broke, son.
You can't say that to a kid.
But you understand what I'm saying? So you either pick the side of, hey, I'm going to have fun with my family, give them time, and hope that your family wants this. That this is what they're going to pick over materialistic things. This is what you got to hope for. How many people can you come across right now that are going to pick this time over materialistic things?
Pick what time?
Pick time with you.
It's going to be very rare.
Very rare.
In today's age.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to go to these fancy dates. Okay, they want to be participating in all these fancy events. Okay? And how is that going to happen if you don't have the money? So this is the dilemma. And this is why, like, when I talk to young guys, I tell them, all of them. I tell every young guy, you better work your butt off. Work like a damn donkey. A donkey does not stop working.
Hey, I'm a donkey, but, I mean.
From the waist down.
Come on, you guys.
No, but. A donkey don't stop working.
So
my family would call me donkey, but shit, like.
So you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell young guys to work nonstop right now because the truth is, it's getting harder and harder, right? Everything is going up, right? It's getting harder and harder. So you have to do something. All right, guys, I'm gonna put it on both of them so y'all can see. I'm having a serious conversation. This is why they call me uptight, by the way. We're having a serious conversation, and then he's talking about some donkey sausage over here. Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. He just said, Nick, my family calls me donkey. I'm like, where's he going with it?
You see, guys?
They're roasting me, bro. Right? They roasting me, call me donkey, but I'm not successful. Because you say, oh, you got to walk like a donkey.
What I'm saying is, what that saying means, guys, you need to work. You need to work a lot, okay? You need to focus. Now, here's the thing. You're going to pay for it because you're not going to get to hang out. You're not going to get to do all these things, okay? I'm fine with that. Me personally, I am personally content with it now. I have no problem with it now. Was it hard? Yeah, I'm a teenage guy that wants to fit in, and people look at me like, Coach Mo, you know, sharpen your sword. Like, he didn't have these social struggles or social anxiety or social pressures or peer pressure. Everybody faces them. I don't care who you are. Especially when you're a young man or woman. You face all these things.
That's how you deal with it.
It's how you deal with it and how you remind yourself that these sacrifices are going to pay off. And when people ask me this, I told them, check with me in 5 or 10 years. Every single one of them, check back with me. And I'm going to see where I'm at, and I'm going to see where you are at. Every single one that said that to me, I told them, let's see where I'm at and let's see where you are at. Because I knew I wasn't going to stop. Okay? So you have to pick. You want to be the best dad? Okay? And money does not mean you're the best dad. Spending money on your kids does not make you the best dad. Right? And sometimes being just there for your kids doesn't make you the best dad either. You know what I mean? So you have to find the middle ground. You have to find the formula that works for you and your family. There's people out there that I see, and I'm not a dad yet. I might be wrong, and I'm going to be learning when that happens, God willing. You know what I mean?
You would say, I'm not a dad yet, but I may be wrong. What?
No, I may be wrong in what I'm saying. Oh. But people try to put these formulas out and like, this is how you become the best dad. No, fool, that's not how it works.
It's not subjective.
You know what I'm saying? You are a man that works and operates a certain way. Your lady's going to be a woman that works and operates a certain way. And you're going to have different kind of kids that think and work a certain way. You have to find the recipe that works for you. Okay? And at the end of the day, if you don't have the means and you have to work, that's fine. Work. You're a man. You're supposed to work. And if you have a woman that says you're not supposed to work, that she doesn't want you sacrificing, she wants you laying around the house, you don't need to be with her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to find what works best for you.
What if, I mean, it's against your belief, but what if your girl is like, hey, I don't want you to work. You spend time with your family. I make enough money for both of us.
But you know my answer, fool. And here's the thing. If you're talking about to a general public as a whole, that's fine. If you want to stay at home and your lady covers for you, that's fine. If that's what works best for your family. It's 2024.
I see your eye twitch. I think
it's 2024. In 2030, they'll have the kids working and the parents at home. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. You know? So if that's what works, that's what works. That's none of my business. It's not saying that I'm for it. I'm not for that. Okay? If I have to work 200 hours a week and sleep 2 hours a day, that's what I'm going to do to work, to prevent my family from having to work, to worry about that. I'm going to sacrifice my sleep, my health, and my family time to make that happen.
I got
That's
a question
me.
for you.
Now, it doesn't have to be you.
So, at what point when you sacrificing become too... start becoming, how can I say this? Start becoming bad for you. Start becoming unhealthy for you.
For you, or are you talking about family? Or now we're just talking about you?
Because let's say when you said you were willing to work 200 hours per week and have 2 hours sleep. I mean, you're exaggerating, of course, but
I wasn't.
But if that's the case, you're willing to work that much hours, you're sacrificing also sleep, your health. So at what point when you're sacrificing that it's gonna start harming you when you stop? You know? So because you can't work if you're sick and you can't perform.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a different. So now you're sacrificing your health.
Yeah.
So you sacrifice your health. Is what I'm saying. So you sacrifice your health.
But then wouldn't that take you longer to reach your goals?
So now if you're susceptible to being sick all the time, then yeah. Now, in the process of me working, did I get sick from being overworked or lack of sleep? Yeah, I've gotten sick plenty of times. I still go to work. I used to be in the back room throwing up, laying in the back room. A customer comes, I jump up and go sell them. You know what I mean? I used to be on the street working, selling merchandise. Guess what? I'm throwing up behind the car. Okay? So now, is it extreme? Yeah, it's extreme. I'm not saying it's not extreme. Okay? Now, you do have to walk the fine line. I'm not telling you to sacrifice your health. I'm not no doctor, guys, so you do this at your own risk. That's part of the process. When you work extreme hours, guess what takes a toll? Your immune system. When you work 16 plus hours a day, your immune system is 100% going to take a toll. Your mindset is going to be drained. Your mental health is going to be shit. Okay? But I also believe that you build a tolerance. I also believe you build thicker skin. I also believe you get tougher and you can maintain your capacity. I've talked about the bubble, right? I talked about the capacity level. At first, if you start training, if you don't work 100-hour weeks right now, okay? You work 100-hour weeks starting today. Today, it's only Tuesday. You can get 100 hours done this week. Before Friday, you're gonna be dead. In this month, you're gonna be dead. In 2 months, you're gonna be dead. Guess what? Eventually, your capacity is gonna get higher. So when you work 70, 80 hours a week, it's a normal week for you. If I sit and work 40 hours a week, I go nuts. I feel like I'm not working enough because I'm used to working at higher amounts of hours per week.
You start feeling anxiety, right? Because
you start feeling anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but you build a tolerance, you build a higher capacity to it. Now that does not mean I'm not gonna get sick. A few months ago, this year has been a rough year, right? I've been working a lot. There's times where I feel sickness coming, and I would sleep in one day, or I'll sleep in a couple of days. I go to bed a little bit earlier. I put work to the side. I have done that this year, okay? But I'm still working more than the average person. So for me, now if it becomes like a health issue to where like I'm gonna be hospitalized, yeah, I'll sit down and talk to myself. But to have the common cold, to have a little sore throat, I'm going. I'm still gonna work. For me, feeling drained, okay, I've been feeling drained and I wouldn't get my blood test, thinking it was a health problem. No, it was just me overworking. Labs checked out good. Okay, I have nothing to worry about. Go back to work. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to make sure my health is not bad. Just get the green light. Make sure I'm good. I checked on myself. Went back to work. Go back to the way you do it. It's just part of you just going through a time where you're in the hole. It's just hard. It's rough right now. You're getting sick because you're working a lot. You're not sleeping enough. That's fine. I know what I want, though. I know what my purpose is. I know what my calling is. So I'm going to do what it takes to achieve it at all costs, bottom line. And so what are you willing to do? Are you willing to do that?
And you believe in it enough, you will.
That's it.
That's crazy. I was going to say this about sacrifice. What do you think, let's say the listeners, what do you think is one thing they can start sacrificing today? Like a very common sacrifice. What do you think is one thing they can start sacrificing today?
I think the biggest thing, and this is my struggle, but I've come away from social media a lot. So like I checked today and I have so many messages on social media that I thought about posting like, hey, I'm off social media, but who cares? Is social media. That thing kills you, bro. That thing's been killing me. Like the last year, it's been getting me. That's the lady in the red dress. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the lady. For me, I get to scrolling. Like I don't care. I just scroll. And like for me, it's like hunting and jiu-jitsu and fighting. So it's like I'm just scrolling videos on that. So like sacrifice social media. That's number one. Okay? That's an easy one. I'm giving you an easy.
Well, it ain't that easy.
It's not that easy, but I'm giving you an easy one compared to what I'm going to say next.
Uh-oh.
Is sacrifice, people are not going to like this, sacrifice the people around you.
What do you mean?
9 out of 10 of those people are not good for you.
What kind of people?
Anybody around you.
Like parents?
I mean,
too?
so
No.
what?
No, I'm talking about like, I'm talking about, guys, when I say like everybody around you, I'm talking about the friends, right? If you're in your 20s and you just want to have fun, you do what you want. This podcast is really not for you. You know, unless you are on the road, you're in your 20s, you're having fun and you're on the road to become better, then of course, sharpen your sword. But if you want to become something, guys, and don't be a regular stat and achieve something and leave a mark on this world before you leave, a good mark, this information is for you. I told you, every single person I lost was for the better good. If you are around people that are not positive, that are not healthy, that are not motivating you, that are not happy for you and your success, and are not talking about doing things that are successful. I'm not talking about let's go to the club. or let's go to the bar, or let's go just watch a movie every Friday, or stuff like that. every weekend. Like a fun time every weekend. I guess for me, that's boring. I am a boring person. I'm a homebody, but but that's all they talk about. There's nothing like nobody talks about. Hey, like I get so happy listening. Like all the guys I hang out with, all the guys I hang out with are in their 40s, mid 40s and older. You know what they always talk to me about? How to become a better businessman, how to become a better sales rep, a better closer, a better leader. That's all we talk about. And of course, we talk about hunting together and we talk about all this good stuff. But we're always feeding each other on how we can become better entrepreneurs. I don't sit with a 20-year-old or even a 30-year-old these days and they give me these tips. They tell me, hey, let's go to the movies, or let's go to the bar, or let's go do this. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that person in your circle, and this, I'm gonna repeat it, for you to achieve ginormous goals, for big goals, your dreams, not just goals, your dreams, what you want to achieve in this lifetime. If you don't have these people around you, you should not be hanging out with those people that don't talk about this stuff. That's gonna be the best advice I give you, is only keep the people that are willing to help you pursue your goal and talk about achieving your goal and talk about sharpening the sword, right? Sharpening the sword. All right? So that's what I would say sacrifice. Sacrifice the people that are full of shit.
I mean, do you really? What if your friends aren't like, let's say you are ambitious, like you, for example, and me, I'm not ambitious or anything. I'm not really.
It's hard to hang out with you sometimes.
And then like, why is it necessary for you have to sacrifice that relationship? Why can't you? There has to be some way. Because I mean, you already said it, right? If they're negative, they complain a lot. If they're jealous of your goals or whatever, they bring you down. I mean, those are some red flags in your friends that you shouldn't be hanging out with. But let's say I'm being positive. Hey, I'm super excited for your, you just opened up a business. That's good on you, you know? And I'm not bringing you down. And I'm also talking about things like, why would you have to sacrifice my relationship if I don't have the same ambitions as you?
Because it's a waste of time.
How is it a waste of time?
For me, it's a waste of time. Why am I hanging out with you if I'm not learning? Now,
yes, but
for me and you, do we have some mutual ground? Right? You're my student. We do jiu-jitsu. You're a coach.
Well, it's not us per se.
Oh, for a normal person, like for me personally, like people honestly like ask me, I don't hang out with much people. I honestly, God, don't. The only people that I hang out with now, and I don't even call it hang out, it's like meetings. It's like me and my friend, Mr. Allen. Like coffee date. If I do a coffee date, for example, go out for coffee, right? It's not even a date. Go out for coffee. Okay? I have nobody that I can go out for coffee with. Right? I have nobody I can go out for coffee with. Me and Mr. Allen go out for coffee. Guess what we talk about? We talk about business. I don't have somebody around me right now where we can just horse off and just sit there and talk about coffee. Talk about random things. Me right now, not anymore at least. Because my goals are much bigger than me, and they're much bigger than me just sitting around with somebody. And it sounds cold, I know. But it's why am I gonna just sit with you? Instead, I can sit with Mr. Allen that is gonna feed me, give me some feedback, and I'm gonna give him feedback so we can become better to achieve our goals.
So what? But if you enjoy somebody time present, why would you need to give them up because they don't talk about the things that you want to talk about? That's what I'm saying.
Because
okay, I mean, for you, your maybe your personality, your interest is different from somebody else. Because your interest is talking about how you can better yourself. Sure, you're not gonna attract most people, but let's say people who, like for me, I have friends that I still hang out with that does not contribute what I have plans in my life, but I still hang out with them because I enjoy their time. I enjoy the randomness that we talk about, the politics or the random stuff that they going on in life, because that's a relationship that I value or whatever. So why would I have to give that up?
So this is where you have to find. You have to be careful. And it's not everybody that you're around. You have to be careful with the people that you hang out with because some of them are going to rub off on you. Okay?
The energy.
The energy is going to rub off on you. So they may be like, oh, good job, I'm proud of you. And in their actions, they're nothing but a lazy, hating piece of shit. And they're not doing no work. And they talk about all this stuff, but they're not doing nothing. Hey, yeah, I want to be the best entrepreneur. And they're telling you this. They're feeding off you. They're in the conversation. They're having fun. They're motivating you. But they don't do nothing. They literally don't do nothing but talk about how they're going to become this good person in entrepreneurship. That energy rubs off on you because you're going to be looking at him like, this dude does not do anything. He just talks about it. And also they're going to rub off on you in other ways. Their attitude, the things they do. So for me, I try, because I'm so busy, I don't have time. This sounds bad again to the normal person. I don't have time to just sit around with you and drink a cup of coffee. Not anybody, unless we are super close. Again, and I'm not going to give my energy to you to just sit around and drink a cup of coffee, because I need to take that energy and put it toward my family or toward my business. I can't just sit around and get a cup of coffee with you. Now, does that sound bad for the average person? Yeah, it does. Like, this dude does not like people. No, I love people. I just don't have time to sit with you and just flap my lips and get nothing out of it. I can put that hour toward my family, take my family out to get a cup of coffee, which I'll be more than happy to. Or I can sit at work and do my work for an hour and be happy. But if I'm going to meet you, we're going to talk business. We're going to be friends, of course. We're not going to make it all business. I'm seeing you, but we're relaying positive things. And I'm motivated but just by your presence. You're a company. You have a big company. And you are a good role model for me. You're a 45-year-old man. You're married. You have kids. Okay? You're now out here clubbing and this. And you're not telling me about the girls you're trying to pick up, or the girl that you talked to, or the girl you hooked up with. No, you're talking to me about positive things that are going to help me. That's the difference. And so for me, I don't even put myself in that situation no more. Me personally, I'm working every damn day. I'm not going to just go out and get coffee with you.
You telling me I can't invite you to a movie date no more? We're supposed to be watching Gladiator 2 too.
I mean, I'm still waiting on the invite.
I guess, like you said, it just comes down to what you value. In your life, you value your goals more than sitting around talking about whatever, right?
That's it. You know? So what is the biggest thing that you will give to the viewers about sacrifice?
I think biggest thing is I think you got to really know your goal. And I think you got to see what you value in your life. That you feel will unchain you, you know? It's like, I imagine this. Like, imagine you're like, you have your destination, right? And you got a backpack on you. In this backpack, you got like water, snacks, my childhood plushie that I need with to sleep with, right? It's like, how much of this stuff can I empty out and continue going to make it to my destination? Because not all this stuff will hold you back. Like vaping, like for example, it'll hold you back. Gambling addiction, whatever, hold you back. I think it's look at who you are as a person and all your habits, and which of those can you live without, and which of those will benefit you. Like if you have habit of social media, drop it. You got a habit of too much stimulation, like podcast, music, drop it. I think it's just comes down to habits. Which habits? Because we're creatures of habit. Which habits are you willing to sacrifice truly to get what you want? And if you're gonna be miserable and unhappy, then maybe you just don't want the goal bad enough. You just have to understand that your sacrifice will be worth your reward.
What about you, Ben?
To pick up for what you said at the end, I feel like a lot of people is afraid to make sacrifices because they feel like it's going to be a waste of their time. They're afraid that it's not going to be a value of them. What if they don't like the goals anymore or want that goal? So they're afraid to like, dang, I did all this sacrifice, and then I end up with nothing. And my advice to them would be like, all the things that you do in your life would benefit you in some sort of way. And there's a reason why you did it and tackle it at this part of your life. You may not know it that now, but in the future, the skill that you acquire when you sacrifice things will be beneficial for you whenever the times come.
I agree.
Powerful. So guys, we're going to start wrapping it up, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on sacrifice. Guys, this is one of the hardest things, again, to do is sacrifice. This is one of the biggest pillars that you have, the capability of sacrificing so you can achieve the goals that you want. Okay? And the goals that I'm talking about are not just goals, they're dreams. They're dreams that most people think they can't accomplish. But here I'm going to tell you, I'm going to repeat this again. You can either dream about them or you can live your dreams. It's a choice that you decide, okay? It's not easy, it's hard, but I promise you guys, I hope you guys get to feel this and achieve this one day. But when that happens, it's going to feel like you're living in a dream. Every day you have to wake up and pinch yourself because you're living what you desired, what you thought about, what you went to sleep thinking about, what you thought about in your sleep. Because after the sacrifice, you get to do this. Now, you're not going to check off all the dreams. Very rare that happens. But you get to live some of those dreams, guys. And I truly want to see you guys do that, okay? That's what makes me happy, is seeing people live and achieve what they want. Because that's going to make you happy. That's going to give you fulfillment. That's going to give you inner peace, okay? And that's going to help you enjoy your life and your time in this life and be a better person and give back to the community instead of being a sore loser, okay? And being a sore, depressed, anxiety-filled person that complains about why they don't have what they want. So you pick what you want, and the thing that comes with it is sacrifice, okay? If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. So you have to sacrifice to get what you want, guys, or that thing that you want becomes a sacrifice. You don't ever get to see it. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, guys, sharpen your sword. You have two swords, the mind and the body. You have to get up every single day and sharpen these swords physically and mentally so you can become a better person for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for your country. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next episode of Sharpen Your Sword Podcast. Peace out.